time will, will be right. Yeah, okay. So we are already on live on YouTube. That's nice. So hi YouTube. It's nice to be here with you. And today we are going to discuss about a tough topic, but it's a nice one too. Um, we are going to discuss a ideal way of government. So it's for me, I don't have enough acknowledgement for discuss this topic. So it's why I bring this to here to learn with you. And I think will be a great environment because in Talk and Talk we can discuss in a friendly way, respectful way, and I can't imagine other environment that I can have this deep conversation, you know? So let's get into it. And can you start, Osvaldo, for us, reading the first one, please?
Yeah, for sure. All those questions are so hard to answer. Well, let's start. Should a country be governed by the wisest individuals, even if they are not chosen by the people, or should leadership always come from popular elections? Well. Well, firstly, it's important to say that all these questions is just about opinions, just per point of view, you know. In my perspective, I think it's important that people choose their leaderships, right? At the same time, I think it's important the population has enough knowledge about civilization and good behaviors before to decide that, you know. In Brazil, it's common we see people that doesn't don't have enough knowledge about politics and these stuffs have this opportunity. So for me, it's better than the governments have been chosen internally. You know, I prefer that. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to answer this. Yeah, that's my point of view.
That's nice. It's hard because I think at least for me we have a little afraid to making a mistake, but it's like you said, it's our point of view, and everybody has a different context. So to you guys on YouTube, it's just a great discussion about it, and for me, we need to discuss more about it because we have this division in two sides in Brazil, and I think that we can mix elements in both sides and have a great discussion. So nice as well, nice. So hi, Yanka. It's nice to see you here, and you always have a great point of views, and these topics will be nice to hear you. So welcome. And so can you answer for me your point of view about the first question, please? I already sent on the chat.
Yes, sure. Morning, Lada. Morning, guys. Let's see. So, so should a country be governed by, well, I think that to me, it's better when a leadership is voted by a popular election. This is the base of democracy, I guess. So to me, it's better. And yeah, I don't know actually. Can I answer later this one?
Of course, of course. Take a moment
But
to
this
think.
is okay.
Okay, but I want to hear a deeper answer later, okay? That will be nice. So, how about you, Aparecida? What do you think about it?
Well, I believe we need to choose our governments, having people in our country have this right to choose who they want to put there in the government. But we need more, I believe, here in Brazil, I don't know, but in other countries too, we need more education, political education, like Bob said, and um, uh, knowledge to choose good persons to put there in the power, and for choose good to do a good choose. I believe uh, we need analyze the 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 history about the person, the history about the group this person participates, and analyze our history, in fact, and have a good decision based in truly information. It's my point of view, not only look for the social medias. Of course, it's a point of knowledge of information, but not is the base, because we have a lot of VS on the social medias, and to have a good decision, we need truly informations, historical informations, and about the persons, about the the moment, I believe, to have a good choice. And here in Brazil, we don't have sufficient education, in my point of view, in this topic. We need to improve a lot yet to have good choice. And for me, it's this.
You and Osvaldo bring great point that we have to popular elections are important, but it's also important give high education for to people vote. So really nice, guys. I agree with you. And how about you, Sydney?
Well, for me, I agree with you guys, but I think the criticism about the democracy, this kind of system, are increasing a lot in many countries, and especially because nowadays we can see we live in a digital world, so we can see a lot of people uh, I think he give their critiques about this, and some people. I'm not going to say we can see that some people they have a low level of knowledge, they think like that, and the people there start to talk about, oh, this guy, this his vote is the same, has the same value like me, that has a high level of education. This guy just starts to argument about these things using this statement. But I think that the democracy, until now, is the best system that we have. I agree that all of us must participate in this process to choose our leaders. But I think we are discussing like that. For example, if these leaders are choosing based on wisdom, I think maybe they could make rational decisions or best decisions I think, to make our country good in the short term, instead to avoid this kind of ignorant person that they want just to. It's in a uh, theoretic place, but we know that in this place, I think when the people they give the power, they change a lot. They try to do a lot of things in order to maintain to keep their power, to stay in this position. But I think, for example, when we see this process, that democracy where everyone vote, and in a guy, if this guy win this election, we can see this kind of process is more legitimate. How can I say in English? I don't know, but I think for us, as the sense of it is more fair than to choose a king, and this king have more rights and have more value than others, and this guy will rule the company, not the company, the country. So that's it.
Nice, Sydney. And while you are saying, and I was thinking like, okay, we already discussed about the education, and I agree with you that democracy, it's at least with my acknowledgement, it's the best way of government. But I like was thinking, how can we solve this problem in a short period of time? Because it's take a long time to educate a population. Like we didn't solve this in as decades. I forgot. Séculos, I forgot the word, but so how can we solve this? It's hard, right? So yeah, and how do you think? What do you think about it, Taina?
Yeah, it's high questions because we have a lot of revoltation and disappointment with your leaders. I think they need to be chosen by the people and at the same time be wise. But what we see are leaders who are not a good example, like Lula or Bolsonaro, because they took advantage of many situations from us. And yeah, it's difficult to say because even when the people are unhappy, there are a lot of corruption, even at the time of voting. Even you vote in other leadership, sometimes who win is the bad leader. Yeah, it's difficult to see the fair in this topic about politics.
Yeah, it's a hard one, and I think nowadays we are not choosing the best one, but the less worse. You know, it's like we have two sides, and people cannot choose a good one. It's just okay. This one uh, take less money than the other one, so it's something like that. And how about you, Yanka? What do you think?
It's difficult, but I agree in general with you guys. In my perspective, it's better a democracy where people can vote for the person that they would like to represent them. And about wise people, to be a wise person doesn't mean that you are gonna fight for the poor people, vulnerable people, You can be wise and be selfish too. So I think that we have to decide what we want as a society. If this person represent what we want as a society. And I think that in Brazil, we don't agree on it. For example, there are people that would like that the state give more money and politics, yes, for poor people, have more program for poor people or vulnerable people to help them, or not only vulnerable people, but people in general, but making the education stronger, the health service is stronger, this kind of the public service is stronger, to help everyone, I guess. And there are other people that would like to have a minimum state and everyone by themselves, a more individualistic way. So this, in my perspective, guide who you are gonna choose to represent you and how this person will make the decisions too. So to me, we should decide this first, you know. Yeah, it's this.
Nice, Yanka. I saw like we as we already discussed, it depend about the context of the person because think if a person that need a food in Northwest will demand this type of assessment, assistance. And people like in the South that have a better lifestyle, I don't know how to say, but a better life situation, conditions, they will demand like high salary, okay, in the in their lives. So it's different needed assistance that people requires. So I think it's why it's so hard convince someone that give like money to people to eat. It's needed to a person that don't struggle with this, because they don't understand, and it's my point of view. So it's hard. The first one it was already hard. So let's move to the second question. Can you read for us, Aparecida, please?
In the main purpose of government to promote moral and intellectual growth in its citizens, or to focus on material prosperity and economic progress. Well, I believe a government needs provide all of these things, not one part of this, and not only economic progress and another kind of progress only to material things, but the citizens need more than this. Need, of course, material conditions, economical growth, but in parallel, they need intellectual growth too. It's about the question number one. We need education, good education, even early in our children teenage, not when we are adult, when we need to choose a government and we don't have the condition to choose this because we don't learn how to analyze. In my point of view, we need a government who can have conditions to provide all these essential items for a health country, economics, material prosperity, and education. Like Yanka said, a good health system to provide things to the persons who need this care of the government. The government need to look for the majority, not the majority, a little majority with power like they do today, but the majority, in fact, who in most of population, poor, and my children, my elders in my country, what they need for demand on me now. In my point of view, it's the question a good government need to provide a good health, a good economic progress, a good education for their population. It's this.
For us, I think it's clear that we have the both progress, right? But when we see the real life, we see that Brazil doesn't care about research, progress, scientific progress, if you compare of other countries. But on the other hand, these things that will promote economic progress. So it's this have a fine line between them. So I think we cannot separate them, but in real life, I think it's different. So it's have this speech that you have to focus on economic progress without thinking in other things. And what do you think, Osvaldo?
Well, for me, it's impossible to split these both topics. Because of that, I really respect the government men and woman, because it's one of the most hardest role in the world, in my point of view, because these people need to understand deeply what are the most important stuffs for their population, for his population, its population. Yeah, it's better because the regions have their own history, backgrounds, and points of views. So, for me, as Ianca mentioned, I think it's hard to define the best approach. I think this will depend of the region's histories and desires and so on. But I agree with all of you guys when the democracy is better. We have democracy. My perspective, it's better. So, but we have a lot of improvements to do along the way. Yeah, that's it.
Nice, Osvaldo. Yeah, we have. I heard a phrase. It's a Brazilian writer that she say that Brazil has a long past to the future. So we are moving to like we will live past because we made a bad action. So the future will it will be a past of your historic moment.
As you mentioned, Lara, in Brazil, for example, we have different perspectives in the same country because we are so big. There are a lot of different kinds of backgrounds. So it's hard because that I prefer short places. From my perspective, it's easy to understand these stuffs.
Yeah, and it's why I think democracy it's better too because we give a voice to each side. If one person take the power, they will not understand what the minority will need, right? So, what do you think, Taina?
Yeah. In my point of view, the government should be promoting education, morals, support for us, especially for the poor people. But we often see the governments just make money their own pockets, and many governments I I feel are collapsing, losing control, and don't know how to solve the problems, and they let it go. I feel that we are losing, so loser. They don't know how to fix our problems or how to make our society better. And this concern me because how will be our future or the next generation? How will be the future of my children, for example? I don't know.
Yeah, I think about it too because I will get in the market, work market soon. So it's not a good future that I think, at least I don't have an optimistic vision, at least what I see in social media, but it's not, I know that have this bias in social media, but at least what I see, I don't have this optimistic view for my future, but at least we can do what we can to improve our small environment, right? So, what do you think, Ianca?
Well, guys, I agree in everything. To me, it's important both. The only part of the question that bothers me, it's the moral part. I have a problem with this word, to be honest, because to me, what is moral, And I think that as a society, we judge a lot people thinking about morality. What is moral to me, what is right to me can be wrong for you. But I agree that it's the government rule. Um, to incentivize intellectual and economic growth, think about everyone in a progressive way, and thinking about intellectual part, for sure, it will be the education part. And nowadays, I don't know if you have seen, guys, but I've seen social media, for example, a lot of young people saying that doesn't worth to go to the universities anymore, doesn't worth to go to schools anymore because now I'm investing in the Bolsa de Valores and so on with 14 years old. And I keep thinking like, which kind of critical thinking this guy will develop, for example. It's important to know about economy, yes, but I can guarantee you that you as a poor person that doesn't want to go to school, I can guarantee you that the son of a rich person is going to the best college possible, going to the best university possible. And to me, this discourse is just for poor people to do not go. Now that we are occupying, that we are going to universities, we have this kind of discourse that to me it's very dangerous. And well, so to me, it's important the government incentive intellectual growth and education. To me, it's the main point in the economic in an equitative way for everyone, not just for Brazilian grow out. The Brazil grows a lot thinking about economy, but in an unequal way, like concentrating a lot of wage and money in a few person and taken out from the poor people. I think that we have this concentração de renda, wage concentration. I don't know how can I translate that. But to me, it's important, and it's impossible, in my perception, to have a strong economy and a poor intellectual development. For example, I can quote as example the COVID moment, the pandemic moment. In Brazil, we was the first, Fiocruz, I guess, it was the first institution to make the sequence of the coronavirus. So you can see how the investment in education can help us with the economy because we can solve this faster, I guess. So to me, this both things are together in my perception, my perspective, I guess.
You brought a great point that is about moral. I have a tough sentence, I don't know, but I think some things in our lives have to be established, some truths like what we we concept with truth, like laws, you know, some about concepts, moral concepts, some that we can establish with truth, because if all the things become relative, it's hard to say what is wrong or what is not, and sometimes people can do whatever they want just in a way that it's relative for them, you know. But I know that it's more deeper than that, but I have this thought. And how about you, Sydney? What do you think?
Well, for me, I agree with you guys. I think all the government must promote all the things for the citizens. And because, for example, to promote just intellectual growth and moral for the citizens, I think it could lead for some, I think because the in a country, we don't have just a kind of people that I think the people they need different things, you know. So poor people they need materials, they need some basic thing to survive. So the government must to focus also in this kind of people that they don't to survive, they don't need to study, you know, they are poor people. But yeah, but when they promote just economic progress and prosperity, I think it also leads to the people to consumerism, you know, to live a life without a meaningful. So, and the but I think thinking about it, and we live in a world that there are a lot of big economies. So for them, like USA, Canada, UK, I think for them it will be easier to because they have a good economy, but for them, for example, to promote all these things for their citizens will be easier than compared to Brazil and other developing countries. You know, we serve a lot. We have a lack of many things. So yeah, it would be hard to choose just one of them. But even in Brazil, we have some a movement about rich people that they want to the government, like Ianca said, to to invest in more prosperity and the economic progress because they live in a financial condition that they provide to their family a good education, intellectual growth. They have money to pay the best universities, the best things for their kids, So they used to say, "Oh, I want to the government not to waste their money in the public services, because they live in this kind of bubble." But for the rest of, I think Brazil is a unequal country. I think inequality is a reality for us. So maybe I think for all of these Brazilians, it would be good to promote all these things. So that's it.
Nice. And as we are talking about these three things that we need to the government needs to promote in the diversity that Brazil has, I would like to move on to the four questions. To no, it's actually it's the five one. If laws represent the will of the majority, how can we ensure that the rights of minorities are not ignored or violated? Because we have a great diversity, and how can we define a destiny or a model plan to the country that can involve all the different people that we have? Because we have different necessities. So how can we promote this? A model plan to grow the country. So can you think about something, CJ, for us?
Yes, it's hard. I think we are facing this problem. I think the majority of the people in Brazil, they are poor people, and they must. I think how can I say, they needed this kind of laws to preserve, to maintain their uh, rights. But what we can see clearly is, I think the minority, I mean, the rich people, they have more power on us. I think they use some tools to manipulate us. For example, like Yanka said before, that the young people now, they are decided not go to the university, not continue their studies. They want to be rich, to invest in the stock market. But there are kind of movement that are change their mind, because on the internet, this guy, they have power. They use their money to increase the alcance to reach these people, And it's funny because when we see the fame of the rich people, they don't advise their kids to not go to university. It's on contrary. All of these kids, this guy, they will go to university. So they are trying to manipulate the poor people to not be high educated, There is a kind of uh, policy that is happening among our population, and I think firstly, I think that the population, the people need to be aware, continue their studies, and know about their rights, And I think voting some people to guarantee their rights, to guarantee that, I think, make the process stronger. I think in the justice, in order to, yes, to guarantee it. I think we saw this kind of things happened I think some years ago. Some guys start to make things in order to seize the power, So we had enough laws and people that stopped it, but it was just for we. Isso quase aconteceu, that this group almost seized the power from us and stay in the same position. That's it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I see a lot people, youngs in my generation, that they dream to be not a engineer or something like that, but a digital influencer. So the concept nowadays change a little bit. But yeah, I get your point. And how about you, Taina?
It's about number 3.
No, I move on to the 5 one.
Okay, one moment. Yeah, I think everybody needs to be respected. And today we have the social medias. The minority can use the social medias and tell their opinions in there and show your voice, show some project, and show it in Brazilian, for example, or in big cartões. I don't know how to say. Yeah, I think if you have some ideas, but you are the minority, you can show it. You need to be looked for others. Use your voice, live in the street, get some more peoples and show your ideas. I think it's it.
Yeah, I see this it's a hard point when we debate like the part of government wants to have economic progress, and for this they are doing something in Amazonia, for example, and we have the minority there that will be affected by this, but it's hard. I don't know, it's hard, a deep, tough question, because it's hard to take out this person and have one conclusion for all of them to make a country better. So for me, it's really a tough one. But how about you, Aparecida?
Well, I don't agree. Here in Brazil nowadays, who the laws represent the will of the majority. Unfortunately, nowadays here in Brazil, the law don't represent the majority population, like children, elders, and the poor people who are the majority. The laws, in my point of view now, are used to the rich person to defend the right of the rich persons, not to defend the right of the minorities who not are the minorities, but it's complicated, but it's hard to talk about this, because when we talk about the minorities, we are talking about the women, about the children, about the uh, the Indians, about the other kind of population, but not are the minority in fact. We are talking about the person don't have the power, who don't have the power. It's different. It's different. Nowadays, I see around me here in Brazil, the laws are used to defend the right of a minority with the power, who is rich persons and politics and big companies, they are changing the laws to attend what they want to destroy, what they want people to be more rich than now. And it's a big problem in my point of view, because we don't have choose, I believe. I don't know how to tell about this. We need to stay together like population, and they want separate. This kind of separation we are living now, it's good for the politics in general, because we are divided. We not stay together to see the reality. They are in the power and they stay independent of the side. They want to stay there doing what they want all the time, and the rest of the population fine because secondary things. You understand me? I believe. And when the population are fine because of the secondary things, they are in the power doing laws to benefit their own persons. More power for them, more laws to obtain more money easily. It's my point of view. I feel a little sad about this, because we have laws, of course, good laws here in Brazil, but they not use it to defend who needs to be defended. They are used to, they are manipulated. The laws are manipulated to give more power, to give more laws who benefit of the persons who don't need more money or something like this. It's so sad talking about this, but it's the truth. And if we don't stay together like a unique population, we don't change this, in my point of view.
We realize how our country is unequal when we see that the term minority is to appoint a person that doesn't have a power. But in our case, those person that doesn't have power is the most part of the country, right? So we have this confusion between the terms, because it's just a little part that have the power, and as you said, it's a sad thing to think about it. But what do you think, Osvaldo?
Well, at the first place, I think in my point of view, minorities are related to a group of people that they are not able to choose a public person to represent them. It doesn't matter what kind of this group of people are. So it's common we see this group of people when in the old times they wasn't big enough to choose public public people to represent them. So in my perspective, I think it's important to manage departments to deal with all group of population in a specific region, right? I think that's something that the politicians try to do. There are a lot of departments to deal with this, and these departments are responsible to lead these steps for the higher manager or something like that. In general, I think if we have this kind of structure, we would able to provide equality solutions for the whole population.
When we are discussing about this topic, my point of view get more not optimistic because even us doesn't exactly know what we need to be done to get better our country, right? So it's hard to us require for them to do something for us because we don't know what have to be done. I think at least we don't have this clear because we have a deeper problems to solve, and some things even don't are shared with us has problems that we don't know. So it's really hard, guys. And how about you, Yinka?
Yes, guys, it's really difficult, but it's nice. Thanks for the topic, Lara, because we need this, a place to talk, to think together, to be respectful with each other, but to hear each other. I think this is important. And in my perspective, in Brazil, you can buy justice. So if you have money, the justice will be in favor of you. But fortunately, laws change, I guess. And sometimes we have some laws that are in our favor, like Lei Maria da Penha or Mariana de Ferraz, or some kinds, or law against discrimination. I think that society moves and the laws are created to attend this too. So it's not always. Não vamos jogar o bebê junto com a água do banho, sabe? Jogar fora o bebê junto com a água do banho. We have some stuff that are nice that we can make better, I guess, in my perception. And again, thinking about this, how to ensure that, we have to think in what kind of society we want to live. Because if you want to live in a society individualistic, where we are self-entrepreneur of ourselves, that we have to sell ourselves in social media, to sell ourselves, sell our products, but in an individualistic way, it will be one society. It will be a society that will explore petróleo in the Amazonia because it's not caring about the climate change, for example, because that will make one person or at the maximum 5% really rich, but it won't benefit all the world or all, in my perception at least. But we have to decide, and since now thinking about this, decide the policy that we are gonna make. Because if we want a society that gave the same opportunities for everyone, we will think in different kinds of public policy. We will think about public policy in education, in health service again. Thank you, Oswaldo. We will try to do this and to try to make the opportunities more equal for everyone, I guess. Because if we don't do this, rich people will remain as rich people, since rich people are rich people since always, since generations, and keep saying to us, like, we have the same 25 hours. You have the same 25 hours as a person that heritage the Amazon, for example, or heritage Google, um herdeiro, it's different this. So if we plan public policy to give everyone the same opportunities, thinking about education and the base, we can change, I guess, and thinking a society that think about community, don't think about only one person or to make one person rich, but thinking about the well-being as a society, everyone having the same opportunities or having access to the basics, like to do not go into the school with hungry. For example, I know that we don't pass through this, but a lot of children in Brazil pass through this, and we have to acknowledge that and to know that and to work to end this. Sometimes I feel that we just think about ourselves. We don't think about my neighborhood, we don't think as a community, I guess, in Brazil. Is this? So which kind of society we want?
Oh, this was tough. Tough to hear, but it's necessary to us realize what we are passing through. And just in this immersion, I have a lot of ideas for the next one, as we didn't have, we are discussing here what we think are our point of view. And in the next two ones, I will try to bring a video that we can discuss even deeper how to create solution for this, because we realize the problem, but what we can learn and apply to nowadays, what we can require from the represents to do for us, right? So guys, it was really amazing this discussion. I really like to hear all of you, all of your point of views. It's extremely necessary, even if some in some ways we disagree with each other. It's what democracy is based on. We have to respect, of course, and I hope that you have liked as I like it so much. So we just have 4 minutes, but I want to thank you for being here in this Monday. We have a great discussion already on Monday, so we will start the week so nice, and it's a pleasure to be with you guys. So
Thank you,
I am
Lara. Thank you,
bye
everyone.
bye. I'm going to end here. Bye guys.